Yo, what is up, YouTubers? Okay, over here in Chattanooga, the thought hit my mind about servicing the debt. So this is going to be about servicing the debt. Like, you want to pay attention and service your debts. You want to pay your debts off, but during that process, you got to service the debt. So I was thinking about marriage, and I was like, I'm out here working, and then my wife is working predominantly in the evenings, and then I thought, man, I don't hardly get to talk to her no more. And then I was like, she kind of owed me that. I was like, that's like, a service. Like, I'm indebted to her. It's like it's her job to support me as I am, out here slaying the dragon to bring back the bacon or whatever. You know what I mean? So, she had worked for a couple of years and all that. And now that she's working, there's a lot less availability. And oddly enough, we didn't talk a lot when she wasn't working either. So it's not like it shocked my system or anything. But some respect is due. Some attention needs to be paid. There's a debt that needs to be serviced in the marriage. And that's from her to me, from me to her. I owe her a house to live in. And food on the table, electricity, all this kind of stuff. And store up a future to where I'm not, that I am, available. You know what I mean? And I owe her a debt of, time and love, gentle, loving kindness and care. And I need to service that debt to her. Okay? And then, of course, we got the Bible. You know what I mean? And Jesus paid our sin debt. You know what I mean? So it is reasonable service to allow our healing through patience. It says, the Bible says, let patience have its perfect work, and you will be complete, lacking nothing. So I got to let patience do this thing. So I want to set aside time for all these debts and service them. You know what I mean? And then other debts, of course, the financial stuff, because it's literally numbers, is more quantifiable. Like I can see, 2 plus 2 is 4. If I add 2 once a week for 52 weeks, I have, 104 plus my 4, so I'm at 108. Those are numbers. It's simple math. So if we get back to service the debt of time, will, and emotions, it gets a little bit hazy. It's not as quantifiable. I can't put exact numbers on these things. And so I would want to communicate and service my marriage debt by sitting down and saying what's important to you, how important on a scale is it, is this a great big deal? Is this a deal breaker if it don't happen? Is this a nonchalant thing? Like, if I don't talk to my wife for a couple days, she's okay with that. It's not going to break her heart or anything like that. And actually, when I do that, she starts calling me, which is about the only time we talk, because I answer the phone every time it rings and she don't. So why have the stress of I'm calling her 13 times in a row, and she turned the ringer off so she can sleep, and then whatever, you know what I mean? And then I'm upset that she's not answering the phone. Well, I know she ain't gonna answer the phone, so I would be kind of stupid to just keep calling her and pissing myself off over this situation. So now I'm not being reasonable, and I'm not servicing the debt of self-care. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta make me happy. I gotta service, I got a debt to pay attention while I'm driving this truck. I gotta have a certain level of entertainment in my life so I I don't stress out quick. You know what I mean? I need to, be able to relax and do stuff, and I need to be able to have a well-rounded and complete life, so I feel like I'm living. You know what I mean? You have all the money in the world, buy all the toys and gadgets and all that stuff. Eventually that runs out, and then rich people shoot themselves. You know what I mean? Because all they had was chasing whatever thing, and then they got it. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, what's this next thing? And generally, they'll get into philanthropy and like, let's make everybody's life better type situation, which is kind of where I'm at now. But I kind of started there with the realization that a lot of people are going to hell. And when I read that it was God's will that none shall perish, I was like, man, like, Jesus died for me. The least I can do is like try to keep everybody else from going to hell. And like, even if I go to hell because I mess it up somehow, I can still say, here's a Bible. Read it for yourself. Hey, figure this out for yourself. Let me know if I'm wrong. Maybe you can keep me from going to hell. However that works. Seems prosperous. I mean, so that's real good. So servicing the debt. I owe it to my body to stay hydrated. I shouldn't drink bottled water in plastic bottles because it's got plastic in it. So I got a water filter. Then I buy filtered water. Then I filter the bottle of water and put it back in this bottle that fits my cup holder. So flavored water, sometimes it tastes a little funny, but it's got time to air out, and so it relieves a lot of the chlorine will evaporate. I then running it through that charcoal filter in the zero water pitcher, which oddly enough filters 1 liter, so I have a 1 liter bottle, and then switch it up to a metal can. I'm paying the debt that I owe myself. I owe it to myself to not ingest poison. Apparently, I'm just entered into Georgia. Now I have to write this down because it's part of my job. So I owe it to the boss man to do it his way because he said so. Perhaps one day,
use the left 2 lanes to take exit 167 for I-59 south toward Birmingham.
The technology that I don't have to write that stuff down no more. That would be great. Shout out to Boss Man. Get some update your stuff because like it'll do this automatically. And I'm not like writing stuff down. It'd be a good accurate because anyways. So you got to track the mileage because you owe tax for driving, and that's something people don't realize is in a commercial vehicle, every mile you drive you got to pay for that. Every road's a toll road, and then the toll roads are really crazy. Like some bridges are like $50 to drive across the bridge. Then you got like that jackass right there that he wants to drive in my lane for some reason. Anyways, so I owe it to him to give him a little room if I can without, causing a problem. And then like, if I'm in traffic, I need to just hold my lane. If this guy on the left swerves over and hits me, and I swerve and I hit the guy on the right, well that ain't cool. You know what I mean? So I'm literally, and they'll tell you not to, but you're literally better off in heavy traffic in a commercial vehicle to just hold your lane. And just look straight ahead and just stay perfectly in your lane. Don't even worry about what's going on around you. You know what I mean? And of course you keep it in your peripherals and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to see what's going on around you. But you have to maintain your lane. You owe that to yourself.
Continue for 124 miles.
And if they, swerve around and do whatever, once you've developed that habit over time of staying directly in the middle of that lane, regardless, now you start getting a feel for your vehicle. So like you owe it to yourself go around a corner and stuff and feel that lateral momentum, those G-forces that pull you one way and the next, and then know how your equipment's going to respond to acceleration or braking or, traveling up and down a hill and stuff like that. So now I'm looking, as far down the road as I can, and lo and behold, somebody's trying to merge, and we're just going to come up there together. Well, I might slow down, I might speed up, whatever, but I'm going to make a hole for this guy, one way or the other, and hedge my bets. Like I owe it to me to live, to get home to my wife, and I would like for these other people to make it home alive as well. So now we're getting into priority of debt. Okay, so the priority of servicing your debt can be life or death. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to measure out your grades just right when you're reloading your bullets. You know what I mean? And I owe it to myself and everybody else to actually think about what I'm going to do, so I have less knee-jerk reactions. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm more likely to fulfill a situation to an optimal level if I thought about it before I got there. Like, nobody's like, how do I work this parachute while they're putting it on and the plane's going down? Like, you want to go ahead and, get some training on how to pack your parachutes and all this other kind of stuff. Get some confidence. You know what I mean? Ask the instructor, like, how many times have you done this? You know what I'm saying? So, like, you want to consult a subject matter expert. And then you want them to explain to you stuff that you don't even have the questions for. And that's my philosophy of tell me what I don't know. Because if I don't know, I don't know. And then the honesty kicks in. I owe a debt to everyone to be honest. I can just say, I don't know if I don't know. And I seen the deal where somebody was talking. It was the Patrick Bet-David podcast, and they had Andrew Tate on there, and they showed a clip where the journalist asked Trump, "Did you do something to get him able to travel or whatever?" And Trump's like, "I don't know. I don't know anything about that." And Tate was like, "That was such a gangster thing to say." I was like, "No, that's just being honest." Like, if I witness, I've had so much genuine connection with people. When they ask me questions, I say, I don't know. You know what I mean? So there's your witness tip of the day. If you don't know, say, I don't know. And ask them how to figure it out. That's like the cake and the icing. You know what I mean? You want that conversation for Jesus, and of course, it's the inspiration for them to actually read the Bible for themselves. That's absolutely enormous. That may be one of the grand in the fulfillment of the Great Commission, convincing that person that they should read the Bible, and then in their spare time by themselves, based off of your encouragement, they actually read the Bible. Like, if that ain't laying up treasure in heaven, I don't know what is. And if I put my mind will be where my treasure is. So yeah, we got the house, the wife, and we got some ministry stuff, and don't run over Bill or whatever, Those are real things. But if my mind is on his business, then I realize what's on his mind, and I kind of study the law and stuff and figure out his opinion on how to act appropriately as I start walking this out. I'm paying my debt. You know what I mean? Jesus paid my sin debt, but I still owe it to God to read the Bible. I still owe him that. You know what I mean? I can't be standing there on Judgment Day talking about, oh, I didn't have time to read it, or I was busy. You know what I mean? Because that parable about everybody got invited to the rich man's wedding, and one guy's like, oh, I got this to do, oh, I got that to do. And then finally he sends people out, he says, go out to the highways and byways and just bring people in here. I don't want to get married in an empty church, or whatever. It's a parable, right? So, you're standing there on Judgment Day, them dudes was doing that, and they didn't make it. So, yeah, that should scare you a little bit. You're probably lacking wisdom if you don't feel nervous about that passage. Okay, but back to the wedding deal. Even then, they're like, "Did you have the wedding garments?" And then we see the church is the bride of Christ. About 6 of them out there waiting. 3 of them had some oil in the lamp. The other ones had to go back to town to get their oil while they were trying to go back and get it right. The bridegroom showed up and took off with the 3 that was good. And the 3 that was good didn't even share with the other ones because they're like, well, if we give you what we got, then there's going to be enough for us. Go get your own. You know what I'm saying? So all of those parables put together is take time to read the Bible yourself because you owe that. That is a debt. There's all kinds of debt. You need to service the debt. Did you read the Bible today? Did you pray today? Have you been in intimate relating to the Creator of all? Are you taking time to do that? If you're not going to do it now on this earth, is He going to allow you to rule and reign in the new earth? Like if you're going to bet on it, like what's your odds? What's the odds of just if you God and never pay attention to Him, and then on Judgment Day He's like, oh yeah, come on in, you can run my house. I've never met you before, but come on in. You know what I'm saying? And the grace side of this is if some random kid comes to my house, I'm like, dude, who are you? Where's your parents? I don't know you. But if my kid comes home with the neighbor kid and says, hey, this is my friend Billy, blah, blah, this and that. I'm like, all right, go in there and make you a peanut butter jelly sandwich or whatever. What's Billy's mom's phone number? And I'm going to check this situation out, whatever like that. But the kid's welcome in my house. Okay? So, like, Jesus is our brother welcoming us. He, like, literally went before us. He said, in my Father's house there's many mansions. So one of the things about the parable about the bride is like the dad had a son and they betrothed the son to this chick. Like this dad and this other dad are from decent families, and like these kids are kids, right? So they kind of let them play or whatever else like that. They kind of grow up, whatever, and the dad can say, hey, this kid obviously is kind of digging on her. She's kind of crushing on him, whatever. What do you think? We'll hook them up. You know what I mean? And the dads made that decision because they loved their kids. Okay? So they were betrothed. Okay? So once that went down and everything's cool with everybody, I mean, sometimes it was like a forced situation, but more often than not, it was sure, it was a transaction and there was a dowry involved with all that kind of stuff. But these dads are, I mean, think about it. You're a dad. You love your daughter. Like, you're not going to give your daughter to some, less than. You're going to look for the good one. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, I'm a good family. You're a good family. I got a daughter. You got a son. Let's, let them hang out. See if it works. I think it's working. What do you think? Yeah, looks like it's working. Okay. Well, they would get betrothed, and then the dad would either help the son build a house or add a room onto the family unit. And then when they took receipt of the bride, they actually came into the house, but they'd have to go over and get them, and they never knew when they was going to get them. So the bride just stayed ready from the time they're like, okay, I'm getting married. When? I don't know. Could be tomorrow. Could be 7 months. Whatever. You know what I mean? So they're just like waiting and anticipating. You know what I mean? So this whole thing where this bride's waiting and anticipating, keeping her lamp lit, and okay, what can I do today to be a better bride? That's where we're at. And Jesus is with his dad, making us a place to live forever on the new earth. And it's freaking awesome, right? So it said he wanted to present himself with a bride that is spotless and all this kind of stuff like that, right? So like, he paid my sin debt, you know what I mean? The dowry's paid, but I still need to, like, you know, keep my fingernails right, be pretty or whatever, you know what I mean? Be appealing in his sight, which is like, don't lie, don't murder, don't steal, put him first, and all this other kind of stuff. I think that's actually the first one, is put God first. You know, literally fear God. You know what I mean? That way, in the hard times where it's like, do I tell a lie to get this money or cheat on these taxes or whatever? It's like, no, I'm not going to cheat on my taxes. I'm going to overpay on my taxes. So if I get an audit, they don't take my house and I don't go to prison, right? I don't do that because I'm afraid of prison. And prison sounds like a vacation to me, to be completely honest. I've been there and done that. It's a lot easier. There's plenty of people to talk to. I'm not talking to a phone. Anyway, glad to be talking to you guys too. I feel a little bit nutty. Anyways, totally lost my train of thought. We're in Tennessee today. Read your Bible. You owe that debt. You owe that. The bride owes it to the groom. The bride owes it to the parent, her own and the in-laws. There's certain things that are owed. These debts need to be serviced. The payment is servicing the debt. So, like, you got a credit card, right? Let's back this up to money again. Bring it on back. Back it up. I did that in the parking lot last night. Out in the freezing cold, getting rained on. Come on back. The guy just, I mean, he's 2 foot from park, then he just pulls out and parks somewhere else. I was like, dude. Anyway. Get you some gloves that are bright colored so when you're going, come on back, they can see you. And this means stop. Like, can we all, like, get some universal hand signals of come on back and stop? I mean, is that too much to ask? I think that's too much to ask. Anyway, is that English? The English to Arab translation doesn't work with come on back and stop? Like, I mean, really? I guess the guy thought I was mad, so he went and worked somewhere else. Like, he seen the fist, and he's just like, I'm out of here. Anyway, so, you got to service your debts and you got to do right in the kingdom because that's your reasonable service and you owe that to service into goodness, you know, service to goodness leading up to everlasting life. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. It's absolutely beautiful, and I love being a part of it. You know what I mean? And I make these videos and I want to share with you guys and everything. And, you know, hopefully my grandkids will see some of this stuff. And, you know, there's like this whole legacy aspect. But also the productivity side of it. So when I look at these things and I see for myself the way I'm doing, the way I'm coming across, I become a better employee.
Turn left onto Deerhead Cove Road.
I excel in my ability to communicate. All businesses communication, if you think about it, dealing with people and everything else. So, whatever I can do to improve that, the ability to communicate, the better everything is. I'm going to get off here. We're going to grab some fuel and some water. We're trying to fast until Sunday. And, yeah, we're over here at the Georgia's they still got that deal for the fuel tanks. So I'm gonna get this fuel. There's only like 22 miles in my route to go through Georgia. And this is the one that's got the cheap fuel anyway. And then they got that tax benefit. They've been having that since COVID, so that makes sense. You know, make it make sense. Alright, Rock Hill. Go get them. Spread the gospel. Spread the gospel. The truth in love. Just remember, nobody can handle. Here's your bonus. Nobody can handle the cold, hard truth. You can't handle the truth. Everyone can handle the truth in love. Spread the truth in loving kindness. Hey, this is what Jesus did for me. This is my testimony. I'm giving testimony. I'm a witness of how the Bible has changed my life, and I recommend it to you because I'm guessing you're going to have a similar result, if not better. So, I didn't throw out a lot of I'm a normal dude. Like, don't make it weird. You know what I'm saying? Don't make it weird. So they can handle the truth in love. It's like a little Jesus kolache. You know what I mean? You got your little pig in a blanket or whatever. You know what I mean? Everybody like that. Raquel, go get them.